Hey, welcome back, guys. It's been 2 months since I've done an update. I guess last one was April. It's now June, almost the end of June. Um, Things kind of slowed down a little bit. And then I had a lot of stuff going on in May, and then this month as well. So just didn't have a chance to do an update. But here I am. As you can see, if you are following along the last video, the front end wasn't. At least the panels weren't put on, the hood wasn't put on, fascia wasn't put on, so that's all on now, somewhat temporarily. At least the front fascia's got to come back off because I still have more kind of prep work to do to that thing. And then the passenger side fender, I got to take that back off because I'm gonna block up the antenna hole. I'm actually going to put a piece of stainless steel on the back side of it and then fill it and sand it, with the Bondo and stuff, because I'm going to wrap the car. I don't know if anybody remembers me talking about that or not, but I know I talked about painting it. But painting it seems sort of permanent, and I'd kind of like the option of, reattacking these damaged panels in the future, maybe with replacing it with new panels, or, undamaged panels. And then salvaging the ones that aren't damaged, down the road when I decide maybe to go back to stainless. So if I wrap the car, then I'll have less work to do in the future. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But anyway, otherwise, let's see. I got the mirrors done. And I ordered the convex glass, put those on. The power portion of it wasn't working. I thought maybe it was the switch, like everybody seems to have that issue with the switch in the door. But I took my switch out and I was checking it on the bench with the multimeter, and I was having good results. Everything was getting good continuity in all directions. So I was like, well, what else could it be? And so then I went and checked the fuse, and it was the fuse. So check your fuses. That's all I got to say about that. And everybody preaches, check your fuses. And that was the one time I didn't do that, just assuming because the switches are so notorious for being bad that it was my switch. But at any rate, put that back together and tried the power function of the mirrors, and it was good to go. So was happy about that. Let's see. I got my lock back on both sides. I did file the hole to get this later style lock in place, and I just used some needle files and was really careful. I kind of traced out where I wanted to file, so I didn't end up filing too much, and got the locks put in pretty easy. Only took like 20 minutes or whatever to do the filing, and got that done. So now both doors lock and unlock with the same key, because previously I actually had a later style lock here and then the original style lock on the passenger door. And then actually whoever installed the later style lock here had done some kind of jerry-rigged setup where they didn't actually file the hole, and used a portion of the original lock, like a rubber ring or something, to actually kind of bring it out a little further, and then had the clip on the backside. So I changed that all back to how it should be, and so that's good to go now. I got the interior kind of put back in. I sort of finished cleaning the carpets with pressure washer and whatnot. I lost my light. Here we go. So all the carpets are back in, at least again temporarily, because they are still kind of faded and dingy in places. So kind of two camps of thought, I guess, on the carpets. Is like the original carpet is a better quality carpet than the reproduction carpets, so I've heard. And so maybe dyeing the original carpet might be a better solution. I'm not sure whatever your guys' opinions on that would be, but open to some pointers on that stuff. Let's see. E-brake covers in. My seats, I'm gonna, hopefully sometime by the end of the year, I'll buy new seat covers and cover the seats. So those will be done. Center console's all back in. It's all in decent shape. It does have some discoloration here, so I guess maybe again, maybe some dye. I just, you know, I don't have really experience with doing the spray on dye type stuff. I don't know what it, how it lasts to use, because, you know, I do want to use the car, so I don't want to just look at it. So whatever the best option is for that, I guess I need to explore that some more. Center console's back in. My switches here, they're all in kind of various states. Like this switch is in decent shape. It's colored fine, looks nice. The other ones are all discolored, and they have some kind of weird discoloration on that one. And then this one's lost its arrows. And so I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna end up, you know, painting those or trying to source some new ones eventually. I actually ended up breaking my my defroster switch. It's, you know, all the little copper pieces on the inside all decided to come apart on me, so I'm gonna need a new one of those, I guess. Let's see, got the bolster back in, the glove box and the latch is back in place. It's pretty tight, but it does open and close okay. Haven't done much with the doors. I refurbished my net, so my netting was in decent shape. I did actually discover it's got a broken spot right there after I went and bought this new cord, bungee cord. So I bought that on Amazon for like $6 or whatever, and I was gonna restring it and crimp it, and then once I was done, then I saw my tear, and I was like, kind of crushed, you know, because I thought I had good netting. But actually, I can't pull it up right now, but I reused the metal clip. I just kind of took a pick and kind of pried the clip open. This is just a little piece of metal with teeth on it. I pried it open and got the old cord out of there and put the new cord, laid it in place, and then kind of re-crimped it back down. You know, I was gonna buy a new crimps if I needed to, but you can only find crimps in, like, you know, bags of like 100 again. So I only needed one. I didn't want to spend $20 on 100 of them. So I thought that would be a okay, if I was able to do it, it'd be okay process, you know. So and I'm glad I didn't spend all the money on a whole bunch of them, since, you know, my net's torn anyway. So, and I know folks probably don't even use this thing. It is kind of unsightly back there anyway, but it works. You know. Let's see. What did I do? Okay, I got the Volkswagen Jetta dome light. I saw a post on DMC Talk about these. So they fit right in the hole. The backing plate, you can latch them down real easy. And they look nice once you paint them black. So I painted it black, and it looks like it's supposed to be there. So my forward dome light was broken. They make reproductions, which I'm a little skeptical on the quality of the reproduction, since they're just like a kind of universal light. So I thought that this would be a little bit better solution, since I'm not too concerned about having everything be exactly original in the car. So my rear dome light is still good, and it's working okay. So left that one alone. Let's see. Guess that's it for now up there. Oh, I did my headliner, duh. Oh yeah, so I recovered the headliner on all areas with a color called Opaline, and I bought that from Automotive Interiors. I bought 2 yards, and was more than enough to do each piece. It would not be enough to do another piece over again if you, say, messed up, but I feel like I did pretty good. For my first time covering a headliner, there are a few kind of wrinkly areas and stuff, but I think it'll be okay, at least for a while. until I can buy, you know, brand new headliners. Let's see. I'll pop the engine. That did it. All right, I painted my louvers with SEM trim, and that turned out awesome. Again, just was kind of methodical about it. I cleaned it up really good with like rubbing alcohol. I didn't want to use acetone on this one because I didn't know what the acetone would do to the plastic, so I just used rubbing alcohol, got as much of the old dirt and stuff off of there as I could. There was a couple of spots that had like tree sap, and I, you know, scraped that off real gently. And I didn't use any sandpaper on it because I didn't want to lose the fine texturing that you can see on them. And there was a couple of split areas, broken spots that I had to glue. I did that previously. And actually had some breaks in this, like this corner was broken here, I believe. And then I think I had a break over here. One of these was broken off. Glued that back together, and then I painted it. And it turned out real nice. I think I did 3 coats-ish on the top. I did maybe 1.5 underneath, you know, kind of wasn't too concerned about the bottom side. So I also painted the engine cover, and I painted the grills. I had like an old can of spray paint. It was like I don't know what it was. It was like a black kind of stainless color that I painted these. It turned out kind of nice. And then I got the inset piece up in here. I painted that, put it back in. And I'm gonna pop the engine cover real quick. Go. Oh yeah, so you know, my last video I didn't have this piece, I got it, and then the latch catch underneath, and then I just got this the support bracket that DMCH sells. They were out of stock for a little while, and it just popped back up the other day before I did an order, so I grabbed that while I could. Sorry, it's kind of dark. There you go. I'll come back to that with some light in a minute. But anyway, the feature I liked about it too was that you can use it to catch the engine cover. And I know there's some talk about using longer shocks. Mine seems to work okay. Maybe it's not supposed to catch it on the front end, as you can see, it's actually caught in the bottom left corner of the D there. I don't know if it's actually supposed to go to the backs or the forward side of the D, the right side of the D. Maybe that's what the talk about the longer shocks is all about. But I was happy with this. And you'll see I'm missing a screw right here, and so I didn't drill that one out because it was only going to be like halfway through. You can see the light coming through right there. It was only going to catch that just a tiny bit, so I decided not to do that one. But each one of the other louvers has 2 screws in it, so I called that good enough. And I'm guessing that each one of the louvers is maybe slightly different, and that's why it didn't line up right on mine. Or maybe they changed the mold later on or something, but whatever, it's fine, you know. I'm probably the only one that's ever gonna notice. All right, besides that, in the back end, I got the fascias, I got it all sanded down and nice, ready for the wrap. The lights are installed and good to go. I finished up my license plate surround, got my license plate, got it registered with an antique plate. So now I'm able to drive it, and I have driven it a few times, and I ran into just a couple of issues with that. Let's see, I got my marker lights all installed. I have my original lenses for now. Once I save up a little money for those, I'll probably replace them because they're cracked and kind of look like shit. So we'll get that knocked out. Let's see, the passenger side, there's the other headliner, and then the top headliner there. My visors, I cleaned those up, kind of just washed them kind of gently with like a wet cloth and kind of got a lot of the dust and dirt out of them. And the little rods that you attach them with, they actually just kind of plug into the back end of the visor there with some grease. And so I pulled those out and I cleaned them up and repainted them, because one side was really rusty and the other side was okay, but I just kind of stripped the paint off of both of them and painted them both sides. So put them back together, and they're nice now. Did a little bit of work in the electrical compartment. I'm not going to dig in there, but I replaced my circuit breakers, because they were giving me a problem with the air conditioner running on like in the blower on like 4. It would like overheat and turn off after like 5 minutes or something. So I'm thinking that circuit breaker had some built up corrosion and stuff in there, so I replaced that, hoping that will fix that problem, but we'll see. Let's see. Okay, windshield surround. I stripped the old paint off of the trim pieces and the upper piece. So the upper piece is actually stainless steel, and then these side pieces are aluminum. So I stripped all the paint off of the upper piece and sanded it down real nice. I had a couple of hail damage dents in that, and I was able to kind of push them out from the back myself to the point where you can't really tell that they're there. Maybe if you look really hard, maybe right there. Oh, there's like right there. I think there's a dent, but you can't tell anymore. So, it turned out good. Again, SEM trim with that. And I'll tell you more about my other issue over here. So on one of my trips to work the other day, I had my front bearing on the driver's side, sorry, started to make a really bad squealing noise. It was, I kind of try to describe it as like if you're tensioning a spring really, really tight, and it kind of makes that twisting, plasticky noise. That's what it sounded like. So first thing I thought of was maybe the brake was dragging or something, and then I was thinking, well, maybe the angle drive is starting to go. But I checked the brake, it was fine. I disconnected the angle drive down in here, and I took the plastic cap off the hub so it wasn't spinning at all, and I checked it again and it was still making the noise. And so then I got on it, or I took it off I took the weight off the car, and you spin the wheel and it doesn't make the noise, but then I was actually able to kind of grab the top of the tire with both hands and shove it back and forth this direction, and it was making the noise. So I was like, it's got to be the bearing, which is surprising. It's a brand new bearing. It's an SKF made in Spain bearing, and it's brand new. You know, I hadn't driven it more than maybe 15 miles and it was already going out. So it's definitely possible that I damaged it installing it. I suppose maybe I didn't torque it correctly, didn't have the right preload on the suspension or what, but you know, it's also possible it's just a bad bearing out of the factory. But anyway, I've got a new set of SKF Italy bearings. Another owner friend of mine is kind of suggesting that maybe I should just buy the Timken bearings. But I don't know. I have these SKF Italian, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I just ended up with a bad one here, or I installed it wrong. So I'm willing to give it another try and see what happens. But anyway, it's kind of like making a whole bunch of steps forward and then occasionally end up with a step in the wrong direction, but I guess that's gonna kind of be expected with an old car. Let's see, in the door sill panels, I've taken those off and cleaned them up. I just used some back to black on them. Actually, I used back to black on the mirrors too. I didn't paint the mirrors, I just used back to black on them. They look really good. I have the rocker panels here ready to paint. I'm gonna do SEM trim on those. once I get a chance. Probably will hit them with some plastic adhesion promoter before I do that. That way, make sure I don't end up with paint flaking off of those things later on. And let's see, not much else. I did a little bit of work with my door card on the right for the passenger door. Kind of re-glued the leather down there in the bottom. I fixed up my register here, but I think I'm gonna end up just buying a new one because this one's all cracked and looks junky. So, and then I need to seal around the plenum here so I can actually use these things. And then my escutcheons are shrunk and rusted and broken. This one's in okay shape, but it's still kind of broken in spots. And the one for my passenger side door was just totally broken apart, so I gotta get new ones of those. And let's see, I think that's about it. I'm sure there's been other things that I've worked on that I just, can't remember. Again, it's been a couple months since I've done an update video, and I'm 21 minutes into my rambling again. So I did, one more thing, I did talk to a paintless dent repair guy about my dents in the doors and stuff, and he's a pretty experienced guy. He's never worked on stainless steel anything. He didn't, he's like, I know stainless kind of hardens as you work it and things become difficult. And I know everybody's gonna say, I'll just call, what's his name, Chris or something from England and have him do it. But, I'm not in the place to afford that kind of stuff right now. So I'm kind of electing for the, hey, I'm gonna have a colored car. It was a colored car when I got it. It's got hail damage all over the thing. So I'm totally cool with a colored car. I think they add a nice kind of spice or whatever you want to say to the DeLorean fleet. So that's just kind of where I'm at. There's my wife. What's he doing out there? All right. Thanks for checking in. I will talk to you next time.